The footage within this video is not actual gameplay and was created using concept art. The design is still subject to change and you can find the most up-to-date details on the Old School website. The ground shook, and across the land, 6 ominous rocks rose from the earth in a swirl of magic and rubble. The scholars of the Wizard's Tower were quick to act, and swiftly began studying these monolithic monstrosities and their peculiar properties. They quickly discovered a way to manipulate the energy within the rocks, utilizing various magical tools to create armor with impressive magical capabilities. Dive into Old School's first new skill by discovering the hidden armaments of the Wizard's Tower and gaining valuable insight into the practices of warding. There you will learn the intricacies of drawing wards and channeling runic energies to create a vast assortment of armors specifically for wizards and witches. Warding is a brand new skill being proposed for Old School RuneScape, available to members and partially in free-to-play. One of the core ideas behind warding is creating a skill which feels as if it could have been a part of RuneScape since day one. A skill which fills a clear gap, fitting into the game seamlessly, solving a number of problems, all while giving you more content to enjoy. Let's take a look at exactly what warding is and what it has to offer. There are many pieces of magic equipment which are a mystery in the eyes of the player. Blue wizard robes, Zamorak robes, mystic robes, split bark. They are abundant throughout the world, primarily dropped by monsters, sold by NPCs, and in some cases crafted by them. But we have been left in the dark. What are they made from? Where do those materials come from? And how are they crafted? We know the answer for many metal armors all the way back to the source of each ore. We are capable of making it ourselves through mining and smithing. The same can be said for leather ranged equipment. We can slay the dragons ourselves and craft their hides into armor. But magic equipment remains largely a mystery. And this is where warding comes in. Warding is to magic what smithing is to melee, or crafting is to ranged. It's a skill which allows you to create magical equipment for witches and wizards. On top of creating magic gear, the skill also allows you to imbue items and dissolve some pieces of equipment to retrieve the energies and base resources which make them up. Warding ties in with a number of other skills, taking the resources they provide and allowing you to turn them into a variety of wizardy garments. One of the most important aspects of any new skill is the process for gaining experience. Let's walk through the process of training warding from start to finish. Much like crafting and smithing, warding is trained by creating equipment. So let's set up our inventory and get started. To do this, you will need 3 things: materials, energy, and tools. Materials are sourced primarily from farming, with some resources coming from hunter, woodcutting, and combat. The materials used include fabrics, leathers, and bark. Energy can be siphoned via magic and runecrafting through the use of runes and the creation of them. Casting combat spells on certain runestone monoliths will allow you to siphon energy. The tools required to create equipment include soapstones and channeling lamps. Channeling lamps are created using smithing and crafting, and soapstones come from a new resource called steatite. Once you have your materials, energy, and tools, you are ready to make some equipment. You can choose to do this pretty much anywhere. However, if you create equipment near a runestone monolith, the energy cost of creating equipment is reduced. 6 monoliths can be found throughout the world, resembling the large rocks you have probably seen north of Falador. To start, you will need to draw your first ward. Wards are used to channel the needed energy for creating your magical equipment. Clicking on your soapstone will draw a ward on the ground. Now all you need to do is use your materials on your ward and select the piece of equipment you would like to create. And it is as simple as that. You'll need to visit a bank, stock up on supplies, and repeat. Now that we know how you train warding, let's take a look at some of the potential benefits for leveling up. As you've probably gathered by now, warding will allow you to create magic equipment which already exists in game. This includes mystic, splitbark, skeletal, lunar, Zerician robes, monk's robes, druid robes, Zamorak robes, and wizard robes. On top of being able to create these sets, the splitbark, skeletal, and lunar sets will be rebalanced to bring them new life and make them appropriately powerful. And for the lower level monk, druid, Zamorak, and wizard robes, players with the required warding level will be able to create brand new hoods for each set. Looking beyond existing equipment, 2 new sets of high-level mage tank armor is also being proposed as a part of warding: Bloodbark and Soulbark. The stats of these armors are not yet finalized at the time of making this video, but they will be made available in a developer blog on the Old School website in the near future. Nightmare Zone has been home to ring imbues for quite some time, but both the community and the Old School team agree that it isn't an ideal home for them. Thematically, warding is the perfect fit. If warding were added to Old School, these ring imbues would move from Nightmare Zone and would become a perk of the skill. On top of imbuing existing rings, it would also be possible to create channeled rings. rings which provide varying skilling perks with finite charges. The effects of these rings will come down to what the community would like to see. An example might be the Ring of Amber, which could provide you with a chance of double produce when farming. Finally, we have dissolving. Dissolving is the process of returning items to their base parts. This is done by using these items on a ward, much like you would when training the skill. However, no experience is gained in doing so. Instead of experience, you will have a small chance of receiving some materials and a guaranteed chance to receive a small amount of runic energy. For example, you can dissolve iron equipment for a chance of receiving iron bars and a guarantee of receiving mined energy. The higher your warding level, the more you can dissolve. There we have it, warding, Old School's first new skill. This video is very much an overview of warding to get you familiar with the general concept and the goals of the proposal. For the full details, please read the developer blog on the Old School website. Thank you all for watching, have a great week, and I'll see you next time.